Hi, I'm Janine. This is KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and this is Get the Funk Out. Standing by to join me is Arielle Johnson, and she's going to share her story on mental health and resistance. She is a brain injury survivor, as well as a trauma health coach, and she's spreading awareness right now, and it's very timely. And we were just chatting about how it's amazing doing this on camera because I actually get to see her. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So December 13th, 2007, I was in a car accident. I was in high school at the time. So I was a senior in high school. I was driving back to school in a free period. I swerved into the oncoming lane. I hit a van and we collided into a pole. Thank God there was I know, I say it so casually.
Hold on one second. And I also saw an interview you did where you were driving a Mercedes. And I remember we had like a used one and they're like supposedly like a tank, but I guess not.
No, they are. It saved my life. If I didn't have, it was a 1983 Mercedes Benz. And if I didn't have that tank, it literally saved my life.
Amazing.
So yeah, we called it Oscar the Grouch because it was green.
It was green. Ours was green too.
Oh, that's so funny.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I love it. So thank God there was an off-duty EMT professional 2 cars behind the white van who just happened to be getting lunch that day from work. I actually just spoke to him the other day and I was crying and it was a really healing process to finally know what happened that day.
Yeah.
Because I boxed it away in my mind because of the trauma.
Sure.
So he saw that the seatbelt was like tangled and I was choking. So he immediately, because he couldn't get access to my front door because it was like stuck or whatever. So he got in the back seat and he literally picked me up and he finally saw that breath of fresh air, like the breath. And like when he told me, I was like, I collapsed. I was like, oh my God. So timing was everything. There's just so happened to be another health care professional who had an ambulance. I got escorted by 2 policemen to Nassau Emergency Medical Center. From there, they did sorry. They did a picture of the inside of my skull called a Glasgow scale. 0 you're dead, 14 you're alive. I was between a 3 and an 8 or 3 and a 7. I was immediately, obviously, in a coma. They noticed I was internally bleeding. So they removed the right part of my skull. It's called a craniectomy. So they removed the right part of my skull to relieve the pressure. Normally they put it in your stomach to like the nutrients and stuff, but they didn't do that. They put it in a fridge. I was on life support for about 2 weeks. And yeah, so my mom was like, all right, what's next? Like, what do we do? Like, I need to know.
Sure.
So they were like, get her a helmet and bring her to and my mom found Mount Sinai Medical. No.
Wait, hold on. Where are you from? Are you from Long Island area?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm from Bayville. I grew up in Bayville, North Shore my entire life. So they, sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I interrupted you. You were saying your mom, they put you in a helmet?
Yeah. So she put me in a helmet and that was the only way to bring me over to Mount Sinai Hospital on 100th and Madison in Manhattan. So from there, I woke up from a coma around the middle of January. My right side was completely numb. I was like, oh, like what just what happened? And there were signs all over my room, family. I remembered everyone. So from there, I had to learn how to walk, talk, do everything all over again. I still had the incave skull, so the bone was still out. I was sent home. I was up to the hospital standards to leave come Valentine's. Valentine's Day, I was sent home. They made a bed in my house for me. And then I went back March 3rd to get the plate put back in. And then I went home March 19th. I was out for good. I walked on graduation. I did tons of therapy. So I planted the seed to help because I went through the depression, just recovering from a brain injury is a lot. So I wanted a friend back in 2012 to understand what I was going through. So I tried to do the on camera exactly what I'm doing now, but it just, I wasn't comfortable. I didn't have the experience. I didn't have the knowledge. And then fast forward, 7, 8 years later, quarantine happened and I have everything I want in my life. I have a boyfriend whom I love and loves me. I have a career. I have my family. I'm healthy. And so
Amazing.
that's where I'm giving back to the brain injury community to
Yeah.
tell them like, hey, you can do it too. Like I did it, but you can do it as well. So yeah.
That is an amazing story.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So it's just, sorry.
No, don't apologize. Go on.
Yeah. So it's just like, there's so many different parts of having a brain injury, like aphasia, where it's like, I know what I want to say, but it doesn't come out. And it's just like brain fatigue and being super tired during the day. It's like you're a child.
Yeah.
Learning everything all over again. So it's like some people's journeys are a little different than others. So I just want to shed light to that, to brain disease, brain injury, and
And trauma.
And trauma, exactly. Trauma.
Are you doing a lot of speaking right now in quarantine?
No, I've just kind of I'm doing videos.
Okay.
I'm open to any, I want to talk about it. So I'm open to anything really.
That's
Like,
great.
yeah. And
Amazing.
thank you. I'm also writing a book. It's in the early stages, but for caregivers who are helping TBI survivors, because the minute it happens, it's like, whoa, how do I put how do I go move forward on their
Yes.
end? So it's
Yes.
like, I'm kind of guiding them and helping them. Like it's a lot for the survivor, the warrior.
Sure. It's
But
like cancer. It's like the person that has to deal with somebody fighting cancer or who loses somebody to cancer. You're giving them perspective on maybe even what to say, what not to say, how to act, not,
exactly. There's like a little snippet that I started writing, like, do not tell them that you understand what they're going through, because
oh, yeah.
like that aspect of it,
Yeah.
you can't
You
possibly.
can't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Amazing. And you went through graduation?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was they had me, I don't know why, but they had me go, which was really cool. It was an experience. They had me at the library like a couple of days a week, just basically doing like history homework. And I was like 3 or 4 months out of a coma doing history homework.
oh.
Like, how they have, I'm like, what? But I was like shy of a couple of credits of graduating. So I
Okay.
guess they needed
Yeah.
some stuff. And then I walked on graduation. I got a standing ovation.
I would have been bawling my eyes out if I was you. I would be
Yeah.
bawling my eyes out now, having just met you.
Thank you.
But your parents must have been a wreck.
So I'm piecing together parts of that. It's crazy because it's 13 years post, right? So it's like I'm constantly piecing together moments of that day. And I was just talking to my older sister on Thanksgiving, and she was like, "You don't understand. Mom broke that day. Like the how she was howling and crying and freaking out." And actually, I actually forgot about this part, but my parents were divorced when I was 10, and
Okay.
I actually brought them back together, and they've been together ever
Oh,
since.
come on.
Yeah, my sister
Arielle.
reminded, I know, I
Wait,
don't,
because of your injury,
yep, because of my accident, they realized how fragile life is, and that how like they've always loved each other. That love never died, and I just connected the dots. So I know. It's beautiful. And it's like I have a stronger relationship with my family, because before I was just like this rebellious teenager and I had no vision of where I wanted to go. I had no direction. And then the accident happened and I was forced to literally recalibrate and redesign my life. And now I have a purpose, and that purpose is helping others. And that's all it really is at the end of the day. It's serving another person, another human being, so they can be the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
And that's,
I have a quote that, because I've been through a lot of stuff, and I'm a writer as well. And the quote is, sometimes the worst thing that happens to you turns out to be the best thing that ever happened. And that is you, girl.
Thank you. Thank
Isn't
you.
it?
Yeah. Like for so long, I was in the dumps about it. I'm like, why me? Why me? Why me? And then I think it was my mom. She was like, Arielle, you need to switch your perspective.
Yes.
And then, because perspective is everything, and setting your intention of what you want your life to look like, right? And then putting in the effort. But I don't know, something just happened, and I was like, you know what? No, I'm glad this accident happened to me, because, now I went to a rehabilitation at Mount Sinai Hospital for 3 months. It was outpatient. I was commuting every day from Long Island with my mom, because she had an office on Fifth Avenue. And so I would commute with her. And then, so I learned all of these little emotional cycles, my triggers, swaps, and it was really good to learn in the moment. And then I'm applying it even now and explaining to people how they can do swaps, which is a problem-solving technique, and finding out your triggers, where you don't just lash out, you process the emotions rather than just reacting.
You actually, because of what you went through, what you're telling me is you learned things that were actually a gift to your life to make you more resilient and process things where some people don't understand those things.
Yes. And it's like the main thing when I had to, so the depression that I went through, I didn't want to go through depression. Who the heck wants to go through depression, suicidal thoughts?
Yeah.
But I was, so the depression rather than just reacting.
You actually, because of what you went through, what you're telling me is you learned things that were actually a gift to your life to make you more resilient and process things where some people don't understand those things.
Yes. And it's like the main thing when I had to, so the depression that I went through, I didn't want to go through depression. Who the heck wants to go through depression, suicidal thoughts?
Yeah.
But I was literally forced to hug myself when I had to feel those emotions and cry, and because my thing is, you have to feel the emotion that you are going through, because the energy is going to come back and in a different form. So you have to cycle out those ugly, painful emotions, hug yourself, make sure you self-love, and make sure you understand that you just have to go through it, right? Go through the motions, because even the word motions is in the word emotion. So you have to cycle out the emotion, and then happy emotions can come in, and then life can be great. So it's just
amazing.
Thank you.
I know, because there are so many people that are dealing with mental health. Even before the pandemic, we were in a mental health crisis, and now even more so. And what I also hear you saying, which is so valuable for people, is that when you go and you help someone else, it kind of gets you out of your own funk, out of your own way.
Exactly, because it's like you put it's like you become selfless. You put yourself aside, and then you're helping the next person, and in return it's helping you.
Yes.
Because you're giving all of your energy to the next soul, the next spirit.
Yeah.
And they're blossoming, and thus you're blossoming. So it's that serving, it's that giving. You want to just give. You don't want to take. Why would you want to take?
Exactly.
And also the idea that the materialistic life, I can't, but sometimes people thrive off of that, and that's okay. That's okay. But understand that it's like, that's not life. That's not life. Being yourself, and just being yourself.
I agree. And really learning how to be a better human and being compassionate and empathetic and thinking, what can I give back to the world or give to other people and help other people?
Yeah, exactly. And it's also like if you have a friend or if you have a partner who's going through something, an emotion, because their trauma could be something, the way that they process their trauma could be totally different from the way you process your trauma.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just kind of like validating how they, like being like, okay, it's okay, you're frustrated. I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
I empathize. Never, what I'm learning is the term gaslighting. And that, are you familiar with that word?
Yes. But you go ahead,
Like,
share it with us.
well, yeah, well, no, like,
No, I want to hear what you have to say. Go ahead.
so it's like you never want to say, oh, like it making them feel like their perception of their trauma or whatever they're going through is invalid. So
Sure.
that's what gaslighting means, correct?
But yeah, I think so. And that's my thought on it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like I want to make light of bipolar because I have a relative who's bipolar. Schizophrenia, OCD, anxiety, because that's a lot of from TBI. I believe I got some anxiety, so I'm working through it.
Yeah.
And also making the idea of speaking to someone okay. Like I want to normalize it. Like I want to make it okay to talk about what's going inside your head
Right.
because everybody has a mind, and let's just talk. Let's communicate.
Yes. Yes. And open up. Like I was on Facebook because I took this class called The Science of Wellbeing. And then I joined this group. It has to do with the happiness lab, I think it's called. And someone said, oh, I'm going to be all alone. I live alone through the quarantine, but I'm going to be all alone in the holidays. And I thought, oh, well, what can we do to help her?
Oh, I love
So
that.
I'm coming up with the idea of we all get together on Zoom,
That's
Christmas
amazing.
Eve, because they're alone.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's shedding like first of all, like whenever someone comes to me with a negative like thought and they say something like that, I'm like, no, 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 no. You are not going to be alone. You
Right.
are not allowed to be alone.
Yeah.
You jump on that Zoom, you jump on that FaceTime,
Yes.
you connect with me, even if it's just me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If everybody can't do a Zoom, I don't care. I don't care. You have me. And that's why I want to make sure everybody of all of my, followers or whatever you want to call it,
Yeah.
that they understand that I've been in their position. I understand. I'm here to
Mhm.
speak if they ever need, but I actually created 2 Facebook groups. It's one one's a caregiver group
Okay.
support where caregivers can come and support each other because
Great.
being a caregiver is a lot. And
Yeah.
then TBI warrior group where people
Fantastic.
can then come together in the group, talk, complain, brag, humbly brag, be at peace with, what's happened to you. But yeah.
Beautiful. Where can
Yeah.
people find out more about you? What's your website, Instagram, everything?
So my Instagram is at TBI underscore the line me. And then you can also find me on Facebook, TBI underscore me one, YouTube, TBI underscore me. And yeah, and they're all connected. And you can find the Facebook groups on TBI on Instagram. So yeah. So
Great.
if you guys want to connect,
And I put your information on my show blog, which is getthefunkoutshow.kuci.org. Arielle, I have loved meeting you. This has
thank
been
you.
wonderful. And I want to stay in touch.
Thank you so much for having me on here.
My pleasure.